wanted to first off congratulate you guys. You've been inducted into the Sports Faith International Hall of Fame coming up May 23rd, the weekend of Pentecost. So we're going to be starting out our discussion today just kind of talking about your guys' season and some of the things that kind of stood out to you guys throughout the year. So I just wanted to say on behalf of the Sports Faith International Hall of Fame and WSFI Radio, congratulations.
Thank you.
So great honor for you guys. You'll be one of 4 schools that'll be inducted that weekend, so we're hoping that you guys can come down and join us for the dinner coming up that weekend. I wanted to start off with both of you, all 3 of you here. What moment best defined your team's identity this season, you think?
I would say our week 2 game versus Marist. Primarily I say that because that was a game that we all really wanted badly, and we spoke the things that we were going to do into existence. So that was kind of like our first game where we were like, all right, we know what we're going to do this season. This is kind of like a glimpse of what we're capable of.
Just to add on to that, before the season, we set goals for our season. Our number 1 goal was obviously state championship. Number 2 was undefeated season. Number 3 was beat Marist, and number 4 was shut Marist out. So that was obviously a very important thing to us, and it sort of set the standard.
So most of our audience is up in Lake County in Wisconsin, so they may not know a whole lot about that rivalry between you and Marist. Tell us a little bit about the rivalry and just how intense that is.
I would say that Brother Rice and Marist is like big brother, little brother. This year we're big brother. You know, we kind of just beat them around, but they're definitely this school's biggest rival, I would think, for the past decade, I'd say. It kind of switches off, but definitely for us, I'd say Marist is like the number 1 team, any sport, no matter if you're playing or not, you just want to always beat Marist.
Sure. We got CJ Gray, who's the quarterback. What year are you?
I'm a senior.
You're a senior? Where are you planning to go for the next level? Army? Oh, awesome. We got Collin Goggin, the tight end.
Yes.
Where are you headed for the next level?
I'm not going to play football, I don't think, but I'm going to be going to Iowa.
Awesome. And we got Charlie, is it Barkmeier?
Barkmeier.
Barkmeier, linebacker. Where are you going to be headed?
I'm playing football at Dayton.
Awesome, Dayton. So we got Army, University of Iowa, and we got Dayton. That's awesome. So a couple guys playing D1 on the next level. How would you describe this team in one word? I'll start off with CJ.
Connected. I would say we were all pretty close, whether it was seniors, juniors. We had a few sophomores up. Everybody helped each other. The leadership, I feel like, was really good on this team this year. Guys took younger guys under our wing and helped everybody out. So I feel like all aspects, whether it's offense, defense, where everybody was connected.
I'd say trusting everybody on your side of the ball and the other side of the ball to do their job and get everything that they said that they're going to do, get it done.
I said brothers, because you might be annoyed with your brother sometimes, but you know you're going to trust him to do everything you ask him to, and you love your brother.
I like that. I like that a lot. When did you guys realize as a group you could be making a run for the state title?
I think it was the Loyola game. Goal line stop, and just beating the crap out of guys.
Yeah, I would say Loyola too. I know one of the kids on the team, and he said that we were one of their more physical games, and being able to just dominate a team that's kind of been the most dominant team in Illinois the past couple of years. Just being able to win that game and kind of launch us forward for the season.
Yeah, I agree with both the answers. I feel like our defense really showed who they were, and offensively, I feel like we were able to overcome mistakes and still play well. So it showed what we'll be able to do.
CJ, as the quarterback, you obviously take that leadership role on head on. How have you grown as a leader over your time in high school?
Biggest thing I would say probably is I always try to become more vocal and body language, showing when things aren't going as well, showing my team and my teammates and my guys, good body language, and knowing who you're talking to. Different guys receive things different ways, so knowing my personnel and just getting close to all my guys.
And on the defensive side of the ball, as a linebacker, you also have to take on a head role as a team captain too.
Yes. I've always been a captain. I tried to show that by good body language and my work ethic. But as I grew as a leader and a captain, I had to understand how different people respond to different types of leading, and using those to the best of my ability to get the most out of my teammates.
Who would you say was somebody that really stepped up as a leader this year that surprised you guys?
He wasn't named captain, but I would say Joe Siegler with the O-line. He definitely was able to, if we had a bad 3 and out or stopped on 4th down, he would definitely go on. We'd be on the sideline, and whether a coach is yelling or just talking to the guys, he'd rile in the O-line and make sure that we had one guy on the O-line that got riled up real easy, and he'd make sure that he stayed to himself and stayed locked in for the game.
Awesome. And those offensive linemen, they definitely have to step up and play a big role because they have, they may not be the guys that are filling the stat sheet, but they definitely play a big role in protecting the quarterback and setting up the offense too.
Yes, for sure.
What adjustments mentally or schematically came out of it for you guys this year when you got early on in the season beating teams like Valparaiso or beating Loyola? What was some things that you kind of learned from that about your team?
I think those early games helped us learn like our potential of where we could be. It was a good early test for us. So I think it was just a good if we stay on track and play how we're supposed to play, this is what we can do.
I was going to ask. I know you guys probably don't want to remember the one loss you had, but what did you learn most? What did that teach? What were you taught most from the loss to Mount Carmel?
To make the most of our opportunities. I know, especially offensively, we had a lot of opportunities that we missed, didn't make the most of. So capitalizing on the opportunities that we get was the biggest thing I learned that game.
I would say just being able to bounce back after a loss like that, like another one of our rivals, a team that everyone kind of said was going to blow us out, and they really didn't. It was a close game. So being able to respond to that loss and kind of I feel like it brought us a little bit closer because it kind of brought us back down to earth and realized we weren't just going to roll everybody, and kind of realized we had to practice harder and work harder and be in the weight room and work harder.
Yeah, I agree. It sort of showed us that we're touchable. We're not just going to walk our way to a state championship, and we have to work for it.
That leads into my next question. What was kind of the key mid-season adjustment you guys made to get back on track?
It was just stick to the game plan. We know who we are. We know what we're good at, and go out and do our thing.
Yeah, I think it just reminded us to keep working how we want to work, maybe put extra work in, but I don't think we really changed anything. I think it just was one of those things where it's like, all right, now we got to show everyone who we actually are. This loss doesn't define us.
Yeah, I would say that those two things, but also working on those key opportunities in games, and then practices, we working on those third downs and red zones, and just getting better at perfecting those.
Talk a little about the coaching staff, Coach Q, Coach Quedenfeld. How did he help you guys get to where you wanted to be this year?
He took on a different role, as in how he expressed himself towards us. Sometimes being a little more fun and showing his personality more was a different step he took this year, and I think it helped.
I think a lot of guys coming up from junior year last year was a little different. He would get on guys more, but this year he kind of took a step back and let the other position coaches kind of take over, and I think it kind of let everyone relax from not seeing him, get on a guy or something, just being able to let the coaches handle it, and then if it needed to get addressed again, he would address it, and not just being all snappy on you and just working at it.
It was a cumulative effort. It was teamwork.
Yeah.
Right, all that discipline stuff, and then also, especially as a defensive coordinator, he gave us all the opportunities and the skills and schemes and blitzes and stuff, all that we needed to just be unpredictable and play the defense.
Head coach and D coordinator, that's a lot of game planning for coach there. I want to talk a little bit about community stuff that you guys do. What are some things you guys do out in the community when you're off the field?
I know that I work with the Mount Zion program here, which is for the students with disabilities that kind of need help throughout the school year.
Okay.
So I have a class with them where I kind of work hand in hand with just trying to teach them. My specialty for that class is math.
Okay.
So I'll work with them, and if they're not getting certain things, making sure that they know that it's fine that they don't get it, and just work with them to make sure that they understand that they're going to have to learn it, but being able to be patient and let them learn the skill on their own and not just kind of do the work for them.
How long have you been doing that?
I started a little bit last year, but definitely this year from the beginning of the year. I had the class every day with them. So
it's awesome.
We hold youth workouts and youth combines. So a few times I've came back and helped kids, kind of coach them up and give them a few tips, whether it's in the weight room or on the field and things like that.
I live in St. Catherine Parish, and I'm there every Sunday for Mass.
Yep.
And sometimes, if there's not enough guys, I'll be like an usher. And then most of my service comes from Smith Village Nursing Home.
Okay.
My mom worked there for 12 years, so
Awesome.
I was able to get in there.
What's something that you guys have learned from working out in the community? Like, what's kind of a virtue you've learned?
Patience, definitely, because there's always people, you got to kind of you try and express how you're doing something, and especially with the Mount Sinai students, they're not going to be able to just pick up on it right away. So you kind of got to reinforce them and know that you may understand it, but the way you're explaining it it might not click with them, so you have to give them time to kind of figure it out on their own.
I would say patience, but also relatability. A lot of the guys that we work with, like the youth guys, they're in the same position that we were when we were deciding high schools, or just kind of wanted to be around the school that we wanted to go to. So just showing them that, speaking to them, like showing that I'm relatable. I was in the same position they were.
So leading into the state championship game, what was the message for your team when you were going into that game?
Play together. Things are going to happen, mistakes, injuries, so overcoming adversity and just playing together was a big message on offense.
I would say just having fun. Like, we had already played them, and a lot of people were saying we couldn't do it twice and beat them, but I mean, going out there and realizing that like half the seniors, we'll never play again, but we'll never be on the same team again. And being able to win that game and also be there and be able to celebrate it on the field through all the struggles or anything that we've been going throughout the year, just kind of capping the season off that way.
Right. Before the game, I kept saying play not for yourself, but out of love for your brother. So I think it was a lot of just doing this not for myself, but for the betterment of my teammates and my school.
And there was a lot of emotion, I'm sure, for the seniors out there. I mean, this is the last game a lot of them are going to be playing. As you mentioned, it's the last game you guys are playing together. So there's probably a lot of emotion coming into that game thinking, shoot, this might be the last time we ever are together. Certainly.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
How would you define your team's season? What's like one word you would use to define that game?
Violence.
Violence. I like this guy.
I'll say memorable.
Memorable? I like that too.
I would just say like fun, being able to go out there and every day after school you're with the same guys that you love to be with, and being able to just roll teams with them was also just so much fun.
I like that word, violence. What do you think about that the rest of the day? You guys were a physical defense for certain. This is kind of the last question I wanted to ask, but what does it mean to play for Brother Rice? What has it meant to you guys playing for Brother Rice?
Since freshman year,
Yeah.
I've been bleeding maroon and orange, as the coaches would say. So, I mean, it's everything to represent the school and bring it a state championship after 44 years in this place that I love so much. And I'm so happy that I got to spend 4 years here with all my brothers and friends and spend all this time I wouldn't rather spend anywhere else.
It's 4 great years, I'll say that.
Definitely.
It definitely just feels like home. We're here more than, especially in the football season, we're here more than we are at our houses. Being able to spend time with, like Charlie says, our brothers. And it really meant like everything that we were able to, set a goal freshman year that we were going to be the state championship class, and then to act on it and actually, anyone that doubted in our community or outside of our community that said, everyone says that, and just being able to prove to them that we said it and we meant it, just meant a lot.
Yeah, I also say home. Just somewhere we're here a lot, but also just like the relationships and the brothers that I've connected with from being here. It's a certain pride that we have since we go here. Like, it's just not any school. This is Brother Rice.
I have a few more questions. I want to talk about the next level. You mentioned you're going to Army. What was the reason for you to go to Army? What went into that whole decision process?
Well, of course I wanted to go on and play football there. I feel like I would fit well in with the things that they do, but also off the field in terms of how I will grow as a leader and a young man. it's a place where I feel like I will excel in.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
For me, Dayton it's a Catholic school, and that's very important to me. And I'm studying mechanical engineering.
Ooh.
And it's a very good engineering school.
Yes.
I had a couple cousins go there for engineering, and I visited, and it reminded me so much of Brother Rice because of how friendly everyone was and how much of a community it seemed to have there.
You're not playing at the next level, but what about the University of Iowa stood out to you?
It's closer to home. It's not really close, it's only 4 hours, but being able to go, and I want to study kinesiology, and they have a really good kinesiology program. Being able to, go there, and I know a lot of people there, and it also feels like home, like Charlie said. Not exactly like Brother Rice because it's a big campus, but knowing people there and knowing how they kind of reflected on it and said it was just a great time, and you were able to get your work done and have fun. So
Great tight end school too.
yeah,
A lot of great tight ends have come out of there. Talk a little about family. What about family stands out to you guys the most?
They're always there when you need them. Whether it's they support you whenever you have to go through hard times or whenever we're succeeding. I think it's good. Family is very important as like a support system for you.
I would say the loyalty. You can always, like CJ said, through your ups and through your downs, they're always going to be there for you. And it's just like the same as your actual family compared to like my family at Brother Rice. If I messed up on a play or I didn't run the right route, they would always be there to, back me up and make sure that I relax.
Right, all those things, loyalty and accountability, but also just like, being that crutch that you can always rely on. Like, I remember after one of the games, it was CJ's birthday, and there was a little birthday party after, and they invited the whole team to come. So it was kind of fun.
That's awesome. Well, guys, it was great talking to you today. Congratulations once again on the state title, and also for being inducted into the Sports Faith International Hall of Fame coming up again this May 23rd, the weekend of Pentecost. Hope to see some of you guys there. Congratulations. Thanks so much for your time today.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
We're back here talking with Brother Rice, Coach Casey Quedenfeld, football coach, and also the principal Bob Alberts here at Brother Rice High School. I'm A.J. Shaw. I was mentioning this to the guys in the beginning, but you guys have been inducted into the Sports Faith International Hall of Fame. The dinner that's coming up at the Forester in Lake Forest on the weekend of Pentecost, Saturday, May 23rd. So we hope you guys can join us. So on behalf of the Sports Faith International Hall of Fame and WSFI Catholic Radio, I want to say congratulations, gentlemen.
Thank you.
And so hopefully you guys can join us that weekend. I wanted to talk a little bit about community service and some of the things that the players and even some of the students here at Brother Rice High School do. So let's start off with that.
Sure. So we just talked a little bit about our community service. All of our freshmen and sophomores do a mandatory 10 hours of community service each semester, and then as juniors and seniors, they move it up to 20 hours of community service. We also do an advocacy project as juniors as part of their theology class, where they have to figure out a problem that's going on in the world and how they're going to solve the problem, and then trying to contribute to solving the problem. So they know they're not going to solve world hunger, but they're trying to find the causes of world hunger, what it's doing, and how we can help out in this situation.
With the football team, what are some things that the team does?
A lot of what our guys do is get involved, as CJ said before, would be with the greater community that comes out as far as athletics. Guys that come in for youth lifts, guys come in for some of the camps. We also have guys that come back from college football and they perform their own camps here. So it's really just connecting with the youth and giving back in those different ways. And obviously through school, there are community service projects that are mandatory.
By the way, our football kids are leaders in the school and they're leaders in the community. They do a great job of doing that and showing that to kids and showing that to the community. So we're very proud of them.
How do these initiatives align with the school's mission on values?
I think everything we do is the mission of Edmund Rice, our Christian brother founder. We try to live the life of Edmund, and our motto at Brother Rice is act manfully in Christ Jesus. And we talk a lot to the kids about what is a man supposed to do in this situation. Being an all-boys school, we can take that angle, and what does it be to be a man, and what does it mean to you to be a man? And we have a lot of those conversations with the students about doing the right thing, whether I'm watching or not. Do the right thing all the time.
Especially on the football team too. That's probably a big talking point early in the season, correct?
It is. One of the things when I took over the job 4 years ago was kind of analyze the personal fouls and just regular penalties within a game, and our goal each year is to minimize those. And I know that we were the least penalized team in the Catholic League Blue in our division this year, which is something to be proud of.
Very much so.
We had we had an old principal that would say, play hard, knock him down, and then reach up and help him up.
It's perfect.
Yes.
It's a perfect way to live. How would you measure the success of the community initiatives that you guys participate in?
I think we get a lot of feedback from the community. I get a lot of emails and phone calls from people saying, we saw your kids raking leaves at their neighbor's house, and then our faculty members talk to them all the time, and they got write reports on what they're doing, and so that's how kind of we get the feedback.
How many students have gone above and beyond in the ways that really have stood out to you?
We also go to Peru every year after the week of Easter, and we build homes for people in the mountains of Hincamarca, Peru. So we have kids volunteer for that, and everyone that comes back from that just raves about the experience it was and how great it was, and how they could see the bigger world instead of just sitting and looking through a television. You actually living it and seeing it, and it's really effective to them.
Who on the football team do you think has stood out most to you doing these initiatives?
Oh gosh.
It's a lot of them.
Yeah, I think there's just all these different little moments that happen, whether you hear them or not. Sometimes I hear them, weeks later, months later. Sometimes even Principal Albers will come to me and like, did you know that this guy did this? And it's like, no, I didn't, because guys aren't looking for fame. But Collin talked about the Mount Zion program, and I think we're 18 or so football guys that are associated and or help with that Mount Zion program throughout the day. So you see, some of, we always joke, Braden Parks, who's one of the most highly touted recruits in the entire country. He can pick anywhere he wants to go. And he is a massive human being. And you see him walking down the halls with some of the guys that, that are in that program. And it's just such a beautiful thing to see. Or, our young man, King Liggins, who's also a very large human being that's now at the University of Illinois. He was awarded because he earned the #1 jersey and what it stands for here at Brother Rice. And instead of wearing that #1 jersey, he dedicated that to the Mount Zion program.
Oh, that's awesome.
This past year, and every game this past year, we were led out by one of the young men in that program. So we see it all the time. So I don't know if there's any one person that stands out. And I'm missing a whole lot of guys that do a whole lot of great things. But those are just some of the few things that happen on a daily basis or weekly basis.
How do you guys build your relationships with community partners?
With community partners, well, a lot of it's through the students. They'll go out and they'll find the connections, and then we have a couple of teachers here that have a lot of connections in the area that will help lead the kids to those areas to work.
Gotcha. What do you think makes a successful partnership between the school and the community?
I think trust. They trust that our kids are going to come here, that they're doing it for the right reasons, that they want to do that, they want to do well, they want to help out. I know some of our kids work with 3 starving children. There's another one.
It's a great organization.
Yeah, Heavenly. I can't think of the actual term for it right now, but they build beds for people, and we have a bunch of kids going. They build beds for people that need beds, and so yeah, I just think that we build those community relations up, and it's really successful for us. Can I go back just real quick about the Mount Zion program?
Go right ahead.
The Mount Zion program has really changed the culture of our school.
Yeah.
In all regards, and we see kids like Coach was saying, with King Liggins and Braden Parks. They're dealing with them. I walked in today, and Colin Goggin was in the room helping a student with homework and mentoring kids, and it's just so warm to see this. And there's only one other school that I know in the Chicago area that does it, and that's Notre Dame in Niles, which is an all-boys school. And to see boys mentoring these kids and being the custodial parent almost of these kids during the day is really amazing, because in most co-ed schools, who's going to take the role of it? It's going to be the females. So to see our kids taking that role it's really unbelievable. It's just an unbelievable program for us.
You mentioned when I was walking in earlier, I was reading some stuff about how when I came to Brother Rice, I walked in as a boy and when I left as a man. That seems like a real kind of sticking point. Is when you come here, you're a boy, you're immature, you have flaws. But when you come out, you're not perfect, obviously, but you come out as a man.
Perfect.
You're not perfect, of course.
They're still boys.
But
They're still boys.
They're still boys, but they come out with an idea of how to become a man.
Right.
I think something that's a big selling point.
And a lot of that's talking with the Alec Manfley and Christ Jesus, and we start from day one with that, talking about Alec Manfley and Christ Jesus and what that means to us, and they buy into it. Brotherhood is a huge thing here. And we say brotherhood starts with BR, Brother Rice, so they really, really buy into it. I know Coach talks about that with his kids a lot, with the brotherhood.
Go ahead.
Yeah, there's no doubt. What we see, the three young men that you had in here before, what they were freshman year compared to what they are now. Obviously, boys will be boys, right? And the guy in the middle, Collin Goggin, a little bit immature, as all boys are when they enter as freshmen. But Collin Goggin leads our. We recently had a gala for our largest fundraising event here at the school, which really gives back and does things for the school. The main speaker at the event was Collin Goggin.
Yeah.
And the growth that Collin has gone through is just absolutely tremendous. And that's the goal for every single kid. And that looks different. Some guys only have to go from point M to Z. Some guys have to go from A to Z. Everyone's different. Everyone goes at a different pace. Everyone finishes somewhere different. But as long as we're progressing, that's the ultimate success story.
And part of his speech was brotherhood. And he tells a story about freshman baseball team last year. We had a young boy develop cancer, and he had to get his head shaved. He couldn't play last year, so he came back to a game, and they had a reception for him in the cafeteria, and every single baseball player shaved their head that day. Volunteer, and he had no idea what was going to happen, and every single of them shaved it, and they walked him out, and he threw out the first pitch and stuff, and it was just such a warm moment to see, and how much the kids cared about this young man, and how much it meant to him, and how much it meant to his family and his parents. They could not believe what a great experience that was for their young man. And thank God today, knock on wood, he's cured, he's back, he's playing baseball this year, and hopefully we move on. So
That's awesome.
And brotherhood is just why it's such a sticking point here is just the fact that we are a private school, and not everyone comes from this boundary that we have like some public schools have. So a lot of these guys, they didn't know each other growing up. So we want to teach it, preach it, and live it in order for these guys to come together as brothers, even though they might not have known each other in 8th grade, 7th grade, etc. So it's something that we preach, something that we teach, and something that we enact and execute.
There's some kids, I'm sure, out there that are in middle school, they're in 8th grade, 7th grade, they're looking at potentially coming here. What would you say is the big thing that they should know when they're looking at potentially choosing to come to Brother Rice?
Can I go with that? I could, well, you think about it.
Go ahead.
I would say we feel like we're the best of both worlds. We're a single gender education where kids can come to here and they could be successful and not worry about all the different distractions. They could be successful in the classroom, they could be successful in the field. Mother Macaulay's right next door, an all-girls school, and we do a lot of things with Mother Macaulay, and we do a lot of events with them. So you get to school here, it's the best of both worlds. It's single gender, which is better for young men, and then they still have, hopefully they'll do some social activities with the young ladies from Mother Macaulay. So I think that's a big selling point for us, the best of both worlds.
I was sitting in Notre Dame's facility this past Saturday with 4 of our guys that were going on a visit, and Coach Marcus Freeman stood up in front of the parents, the prospective student athletes, the football players, and he really just focused on the best of both worlds. And similar to what Principal Alberts just said, I'm going to kind of speak to best of both worlds academically and athletically. We do such a fine job of sending kids to top tier schools like Notre Dame, Ivy League schools, great institutions like University of Illinois, University of Iowa, Indiana, etc. And at the same time, we're playing for state championships in baseball. We're playing for state championships in basketball. We won a state championship this year in football. Our programs in athletics are doing so well, and it's a credit to all the families and all the boys that come here and buy into what we're trying to teach. It's okay to be a really good student and be a really good athlete. You don't have to choose one of those things. So that's what I would say.
They're both celebrated. And if you walk down the cafeteria at any time, you can see kids that are in the band, seeing what kids are playing football, seeing kids that are really smart in all honors classes, and seeing some of our lower level kids. Kids just get along here. It's really a great environment for our young men.
What are some of the things that you do with Mother Macaulay?
So we share some honors classes and AP classes. We have 30 young men go over there every day for art class, and they have an art teacher that's really good, so she teaches our kids art there. They have some kids coming next year for Calculus BC, AP Calculus BC. We share a band against the Brother S. Mother Macaulay band. They use our pool. They're going to come for engineering next year, so we go back and forth and share some academic and athletic facilities, yet we're an all-boys school, and they're an all-girls school, and both keep our mission with Catherine Macaulay and Evan Rice, and it's a great combination. And Macaulay's a great school. I had 3 daughters go there. And they all do really well. So,
What would you say are some of the benefits of having an all-boys school like this?
you can be yourself, and we can teach the way boys learn. Boys are very competitive. Boys like to get up and move. Boys like to touch and feel. You walk down the hallways, they're punching each other, but it's not a punch of I hate you, it's punches I love you, and that's the way they express themselves. So we understand how boys live, how they learn, how they are successful, and we're able to teach to that.
Yeah, I think focus. As the head football coach, the boys can really focus on whatever their task or whatever their identity really is. When they're in the classroom, they can focus on that. And then once we get into the athletic portion of things, whether that's before school with a weight room session or after school with an actual practice or a game, there's none of that, social distraction, that's happening. As a former public school guy, I don't see any of that. So guys can really kind of focus and hone in on their skills, whether that's academic or athletic, and really try to succeed that way.
How are they able? Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, the amount of Brother Rice men that married Macaulay girls, myself included, it's absolutely amazing. We often joke we should have a prom for married folks from Brother Rice and Mother Macaulay, because there'd be so many people being there. It'd be a great fundraiser for us.
That's awesome. Yeah, you guys should do that. I think that'd be great. You could MC it, maybe. Who knows?
Yeah.
I was going to ask you, Coach, how are your players able to kind of balance the academic side with the athletic side?
I really just believe it's on time management.
Yeah. It's not an easy skill to learn for some.
Yeah, for sure. And some guys take a lot longer than other guys. I believe that one of the things that we do for prospective families that are just looking at Brother Rice is we're really honest up front. And we say that it might not be a fit for everyone, and that's okay. But if a young man, a boy is looking at a school and he really wants to, develop and succeed both as a student and as a football player, then this will be a great fit. And we kind of teach that right when they get in here. So we're talking the week after 4th of July going into their freshman year. Our head freshman coach, we almost have like an orientation, as a Brother Rice football player, but really as a Brother Rice student. We get their email addresses early. We get their laptops early. We tell them how to do certain things before school even starts, because we inform them and we're honest up front with it's going to be a lot, and that's okay, because the world is a lot, and we're just trying to teach that professionalism before maybe someone else does.
And another thing a coach does a wonderful job is they have a team chaplain, and you can talk more about that, but he comes and works with the kids all the time. Want to go through that a little bit?
Yeah, I think just with the stresses of being a high school student, both student and athlete, we provide a team chaplain, Father Ryan Brady, who is the head of St. Christina Parish right down the road. He comes, and he's not even a Brother Rice alum.
Okay.
He's an alum of a rival school, actually.
Uh-oh.
but believes in our mission.
Yes.
And he comes out to our practices every Wednesday throughout the season and provides confession for our guys. So we'll be in the middle of practice for the state championship game, and guys are running over there and utilizing him as a resource for that stress management, for that that moral compass, as much as they possibly can. He's at all of our games. He travels, and you see after the state championship game or a big semifinal win here, and the guys are hugging him on the way out, and all that good stuff. So we try to be up front when it comes to the stress and the management and the time that it takes to be a student athlete, but we try to provide as many resources as possible for them to manage it the best that they can.
Plus his monthly prayer services have been really effective with you guys, I believe.
Yeah, we have a spiritual development program within the football team. We do it year round. We have some outside resources that come in and and just talk about how it's okay to be a man of faith, how it's okay to be in touch with your spiritual side, and it's okay to speak about it as well. So we really feel, and we started that this past year. So there's definitely a correlation with the spiritual side of things, and then also the success in the win-loss column. So.
Oh, for certain. I was going to mention that for sure. What to you, Coach, stood out most about your team this year?
Leadership. And CJ used the word connectedness.
Yes.
I'll just substitute connectedness to brotherhood, and that's what Charlie said.
Mm-hmm.
So the day they're my first class. So when I moved up here and I took this job, that was the first class that came in with me.
Yeah.
From the
Where were you
moment
at previously?
I was in Houston, Texas.
Okay.
So when that group came in here as freshmen 4 years ago, they definitely took things to a different level as far as seriousness, passion, but also those relationships and brotherhood.
Okay.
There was guys from different neighborhoods that were hanging out with one another, and they truly bought into kind of the mission and what we want to do as far as a football team. They were successful win-loss columns. They were Catholic League champs as freshmen. They were Catholic League champs as sophomores. And then when they took that step up to their junior season on the varsity, many of them played, but they were young and inexperienced on varsity. So it wasn't as successful as what they wanted to, just making the playoffs and exiting, but they use that as fuel coming back. So brotherhood is the correct answer, and that is the answer.
For certain. Well, we're actually running short on time, but gentlemen, I really appreciate the discussion today. Thank you so much for having us, and once again, congratulations on being inducted into the Sports Faith International Hall of Fame coming up this May.
It's a wonderful honor. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen.